Call of Duty, released in 2003, concludes with the Allied victory in World War II, presented through 3 distinct campaigns: American, British, and Soviet. This multi-perspective structure underscores the collective sacrifice and international cooperation required to defeat fascism, laying the thematic groundwork for the franchise. Each campaign's final missions highlight unique contributions to the war effort, reflecting the diverse roles played by Allied forces in achieving victory over Nazi Germany. The game's narrative design immerses players in the global scope of the conflict, emphasizing the interconnected efforts of nations united against a common enemy. The American campaign follows Private Martin and concludes with Festung Rakan near Bastogne on January 15, 1945. The unit clears out bunkers and takes documents before facing 2 Panzer tanks that emerge from a minefield, accompanied by numerous soldiers. The player must use Flak 88s and Panzerfaust to destroy the tanks, culminating in a desperate defense.
Clear this bunker and
This final mission emphasizes the personal cost of war, as the campaign ends with Captain Foley congratulating Martin, stating, "I can hardly believe we've done it." The British campaign concludes with the SAS destroying a V-2 rocket site near Bergsteinfurt in the mission V-2 rocket site on February 20, disrupting German long-range attacks. These conclusions highlight the strategic importance of covert tactics, showcasing British ingenuity in disrupting enemy operations. The Soviet campaign culminates in the Reichstag, where Red Army soldiers raise the victory banner atop the building, symbolizing the collapse of Nazi Germany in Europe. These endings collectively illustrate how victory required coordinated efforts across fronts, with each nation's soldiers facing distinct challenges, from urban combat to clandestine operations. Call of Duty 2, released in 2005, expands the multi-perspective approach, concluding with the liberation of Europe through campaigns across multiple theaters. The American campaign features Corporal Bill Taylor of the 2nd Ranger Battalion and concludes with The Crossing Point, also known as Crossing the Rhine, the game's final mission, a river crossing into Germany where players defeat 2 German Tiger I tanks in urban combat. This final mission showcases the American push into German territory, marking a decisive turning point in the war's final phase. The British campaign follows Sergeant John Davis of the 7th Armored Division during the Battle for Caen, concluding with the Brigade Box at Amay-sur-Seulles on June 14, 1944. This engagement plays out across bocage lanes and farmsteads around Amay-sur-Seulles, emphasizing close-quarters fighting through hedgerows rather than dense city streets. The Soviet campaign remains in Stalingrad through 1942 to 1943, concluding there with missions that emphasize the defense and counterattack rather than a Berlin finale. The game's focus on personal sacrifice connects players to the human element of war, fostering empathy for real-world veterans. Technological advancements in Call of Duty 2, including enhanced graphics and immersive sound design, elevate the ending's cinematic quality. Detailed environments, such as Stalingrad's ruined districts, Egypt's desert battlefields, and Normandy's fortified positions, immerse players in historic moments. Infinity Ward's mastery of interactive storytelling balances respect for veterans' experiences with engaging gameplay, setting a standard for historical narratives in the franchise. Call of Duty 3, released in 2006, focuses on the Normandy campaign, culminating in the closure of the Falaise Pocket, not the liberation of Paris. The single-player campaign is modeled after the Normandy breakout, where British, Canadian, American, Polish, and French resistance forces pushed into the village of Chambois, France, also known as the Falaise Gap. The finale, Chambois, depicts the Allied encirclement of German forces attempting to escape the Falaise Pocket. The mission sees the American units holding off against retreating Germans in the town. When Guzzo attempts to call for air support but is wounded, Nichols and Dixon rescue him as air support arrives, though Dixon is shot and killed. Guzzo takes command and the squad retakes and defends the town as American reinforcements force the Germans to surrender. The ending reveals that 4 days later, on August 25th, Paris is liberated, bringing an end to the Battle of Normandy. This conclusion emphasizes multinational cooperation, with characters like Marcel and Isabelle representing French resistance fighters who aided Allied operations through sabotage and intelligence. The narrative explores the coordinated effort required to trap German forces, showing how tactical victories at places like Chambois contributed to the broader liberation of France. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, released in 2007, shifts the franchise to contemporary warfare, concluding with the death of Sergeant Paul Jackson in a nuclear explosion during Shock and Awe, and a final confrontation between Soap MacTavish and Imran Zakhaev in Game Over. This ending introduces moral complexity, showing that heroic actions may not prevent catastrophic losses. The nuclear blast triggered by Zakhaev's forces underscores modern warfare's devastating potential, contrasting with the sanitized battles of World War II titles. The sequence shocks players, redefining the stakes of military narratives in gaming. The explosion's aftermath establishes modern warfare's focus on issues like weapons of mass destruction and non-state actors. The final mission, set on a bridge, features Captain Price sliding a pistol to the wounded Soap, who kills Zakhaev in a desperate act. This moment symbolizes the mentor-protege bond, emphasizing teamwork and sacrifice. The Price-Soap relationship becomes the trilogy's emotional core, setting up narratives centered on loyalty and loss. The bridge setting, with its high-stakes tension, amplifies the desperation of their fight against a global threat. Call of Duty: World at War, released in 2008, concludes with two endings in the European and Pacific theaters. The Soviet campaign ends with Private Dmitry Petrenko planting the Red Army flag atop the Reichstag in Berlin during downfall, where he is shot by a dying German soldier while attempting to plant the flag, after which Reznov kills the German with a machete, allowing the wounded Dmitry to complete the task. The Pacific campaign concludes with the costly victory at Okinawa and Breaking Point, where American forces overcome fierce Japanese resistance. In Breaking Point, the player faces a key choice to save either Sergeant Roebuck or Private Polonsky during a fake surrender trap. Both endings highlight the immense human cost of victory while celebrating soldiers' heroism, balancing triumph with the war's brutal realities.
On the ground now!
Keep those hands up!
Shit!
Miller! Polonsky! Miller! Polonsky's down!
The Reichstag sequence, where Dmitry, wounded by a German defender, is urged by Sergeant Reznov to raise the flag, is a defining moment. Reznov's line, "As long as you live, the heart of this army can never be broken," cements his iconic status and underscores war's psychological toll.
As long as you live, the heart of this army can never be broken.
The mission demonstrates the final push into the Nazi capital, with Soviet forces fighting through destroyed buildings and facing desperate German resistance. Call of Duty: Modern Warfare 2, released in 2009, delivers a shocking ending with General Shepard's betrayal of Task Force 1141 in loose ends, leading to the deaths of Ghost and Roach. Soap McTavish and Captain Price pursue revenge, culminating in a climactic confrontation in Endgame, where Soap kills General Shepard by throwing a knife into his eye after being stabbed by Shepard. This betrayal establishes distrust within military institutions as a recurring theme, exploring how personal ambition corrupts leaders. The narrative's intensity, driven by Shepard's treachery, redefines loyalty in the series. Shepard's actions stem from his desire to restore American military prestige after modern warfare's nuclear disaster. His betrayal reveals the dangers of institutional pride, a theme resonant in later games. The final fight provides intense action and emotional weight as Price and Soap, now fugitives, confront their former commander. This act raises questions about accountability and morality, challenging players to consider justice's boundaries in military contexts. Black Ops, released in 2010, concludes with the revelation that Alex Mason's experiences were shaped by hallucinations of Viktor Reznov, who died during the Vorkuta prison break in Vorkuta. This twist, revealed in Redemption, recontextualizes the campaign through psychological manipulation, showing how brainwashing distorts reality. The final interrogation scenes disclose Mason's programming as a Soviet sleeper agent to assassinate President Kennedy, but Reznov's influence redirected him to target Dragovich and his allies. The ending implies, without confirming, Mason's presence at Kennedy's assassination, leaving his role ambiguous. This uncertainty aligns with Black Ops' themes of hidden history and covert operations, challenging players to question truth and memory. Mason's confrontation with Dragovich aboard the Rusalka provides personal closure, but highlights violence's cyclical nature, as past conflicts seed future ones. The numbers sequence, a hallmark of the game, underscores psychological warfare's impact. Modern Warfare 3, released in 2011, concludes the original trilogy with the deaths of Soap McTavish and Vladimir Makarov. Soap's death occurs in the Blood Brothers mission in a safe house in Prague, after he sustains wounds while escaping a church and confronting Makarov's forces.
You never should have come here.
What's he talking about? Get out now! the goal! Now! Get off me!
This loss galvanizes Captain Price to pursue Makarov, culminating in a personal showdown at the Hotel Oasis in Dubai during Dust to Dust. The final confrontation takes place at the Hotel Oasis in Dubai, where Price and Yuri infiltrate in Juggernaut suits, but a helicopter attack wrecks their elevator and forces them to shed the armor before fighting through the hotel to the rooftop, where Makarov gains the upper hand in the ensuing struggle and prepares to execute Price, but is distracted by Yuri, whom he kills. Price then wraps a steel cable around Makarov's neck before plunging him through a skylight, hanging him.
Goodbye, Captain Price.
This urban setting underscores terrorism's infiltration into civilian spaces, heightening the stakes of modern warfare. Soap's death marks the loss of Task Force 141's heart, leaving Price to complete their mission alone. The emotional weight of this loss drives the final confrontation, where Price kills Makarov, delivering justice but at a profound personal cost, leaving Price as the sole survivor of the original team. The ending portrays victory as Pyrrhic, with heroes transformed by their sacrifices. Black Ops 2, released in 2012, introduces branching narratives, with endings depending on player choices. The good ending, achieved in Judgment Day, sees David Mason stopping Raul Menendez's cyber attack, preserving key characters and global stability. The bad endings depict Menendez succeeding, leading to chaos or character deaths. This innovation allows players to shape the story, emphasizing decisions' cascading effects on global outcomes, a groundbreaking feature for Call of Duty. The good ending requires ethical choices, such as sparing Admiral Briggs, resulting in Menendez's capture. It highlights collaboration and strategic thinking in countering complex threats like cyber warfare. The bad endings explore dystopian scenarios where Menendez exploits technological vulnerabilities, reflecting modern fears of digital sabotage. These outcomes underscore the game's theme of escalating conflict complexity, driven by technology and ideology, making it a pivotal entry in the franchise. Call of Duty Ghosts, released in 2013, ends with the apparent death of Gabriel Rourke in The Ghost Killer, only to reveal his survival and capture of Logan Walker. This cliffhanger establishes Rourke as a persistent antagonist, setting up unresolved sequel potential. The ending explores survival, adaptation, and the blurred line between hero and villain, reflecting the psychological toll of modern warfare and special operations. Rourke's transformation from ally to enemy, driven by torture and brainwashing by the Federation, highlights the dangers of elite soldiers becoming adversaries. The ending suggests captured personnel can become formidable threats, echoing real-world concerns. Logan's uncertain fate raises questions about loyalty and identity, deepening the narrative's emotional impact and leaving players invested in his potential transformation or resistance. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, released in 2014, concludes with Jack Mitchell defeating Jonathan Irons and his private military corporation Atlas in a high-stakes assault on their headquarters during Terminus. Mitchell sacrifices his robotic arm to destroy Irons, emphasizing personal moral choices amid challenges to institutional authority. The victory reaffirms governmental control over privatized military power, highlighting corporate overreach's risks in future warfare scenarios. The narrative explores technological advancements, like exosuits, and their ethical implications. Irons, a charismatic but ruthless CEO, represents unchecked ambition, making his defeat a cautionary tale about privatized military power. Mitchell's journey from soldier to rebel underscores individual agency, a recurring theme in Call of Duty's modern entries, connecting to broader questions about technology's role in reshaping warfare and power dynamics. Black Ops 3, released in 2015, delivers a complex ending in life, revealing the campaign unfolds within the player's dying consciousness, interfaced with John Taylor's memories via the direct neural interface, manipulated by the rogue AI Corvus. This sci-fi twist explores identity, consciousness, and human-AI intersections, challenging players to question the campaign's reality and recontextualizing their experience in a groundbreaking narrative shift. The focus on digital manipulation reflects contemporary fears of AI and technological overreach. The player's struggle to maintain identity amid Corvus's influence adds philosophical depth, distinguishing Black Ops 3 as a bold departure from traditional Call of Duty storytelling. The narrative's complexity invites reflection on technology's impact on human agency, a theme increasingly relevant in modern warfare and society. Call of Duty: Infinite Warfare, released in 2016, concludes with Captain Nick Reyes and his crew sacrificing themselves to stop the settlement defense front in Operation Bloodstorm. The ending is a memorial sequence where Admiral Coop honors the fallen, and Salter walks past the engraved names. Set in space, the ending emphasizes duty and leadership in a futuristic context, showing technology's impact on warfare's form but not its essence of sacrifice and honor. The narrative celebrates soldiers' willingness to die for greater causes, with Reyes embodying selfless heroism. The space setting, with battles aboard ships and stations, adds visual spectacle, reinforcing Call of Duty's ability to adapt historical themes to new environments. The ending's emotional weight resonates with World War II titles, maintaining thematic continuity across the franchise's diverse settings. Call of Duty World War II, released in 2017, concludes with The Rhine and an epilogue centered on rescuing Zussmann from the Nazi POW labor camp at Berga, followed by the European war's end. The Rhine is the 11th and penultimate mission where Daniel's squad secures the Ludendorff Bridge in Remagen, followed automatically by the epilogue, which serves as the true finale. The 1st Infantry Division has been liberating POW concentration camps since capturing the Ludendorff Bridge and receives information that Zussmann is being held at a labor camp in Berga. Upon arriving at the small camp, they uncover the gruesome atrocities that Metz and his men have committed against the prisoners. Pearson finds a trail leading out of the camp, realizing the Nazis led the prisoners on a death march. Daniels, Pearson, Stiles, and Aiello head deep into the forest to find Zussmann. Metz begins executing prisoners, the gunshots alerting Daniels to his position. Daniels finds and saves Zussmann by killing Metz before he can execute him. The rescue of civilians and reunion of soldiers emphasize brotherhood and moral purpose. The camp's atrocities reinforce the Allies' just cause, connecting to the original Call of Duty while addressing modern discussions of moral clarity and conflict. The narrative focuses on Private Ronald "Red" Daniels, whose growth reflects war's transformative impact. The ending balances triumph with reflection, highlighting sacrifices and bonds forged in combat. Black Ops 4, released in 2018, lacks a traditional campaign, offering specialist HQ missions that explore individual backstories without a unified ending. This multiplayer focus shifts priorities, with character development serving gameplay rather than a cohesive narrative. The absence of a campaign ending prompted Call of Duty's return to story-driven modes in later titles, reflecting fan demand for narrative depth and traditional campaign experiences. The Modern Warfare reboot, released in 2019, concludes with the formation of Task Force 141, led by Captain Price in Into the Furnace. The reveal that Kyle Garrick is Gaz connects to the original trilogy, while references to Ghost and Soap tease future appearances. Post-credits scenes hint at conflicts involving the Zakhaev family, blending nostalgia with new storylines that appeal to both longtime fans and new players. The ending balances homage with fresh narratives, preserving Modern Warfare's focus on contemporary complexities, such as terrorism and global alliances. It establishes a new timeline, setting the stage for sequels that explore Modern Warfare's evolving challenges and the enduring legacy of iconic characters. Black Ops Cold War, released in 2020, offers multiple endings based on Bell's loyalty to the CIA or Perseus. Choosing truth in the interrogation ensures loyalty to Adler, preventing Perseus's nuclear attack in the final countdown. Choosing lie aligns Bell with Perseus, enabling attacks in Ashes to Ashes. These endings explore identity, loyalty, and Cold War espionage's moral ambiguity, reflecting the era's covert tensions. The focus on brainwashing and deception highlights the era's complexities. The branching endings emphasize player agency, showing how choices shape global outcomes, tying to the Black Ops series' themes of manipulation and hidden truths. This narrative innovation reinforces Call of Duty's evolution toward interactive storytelling. Call of Duty Vanguard, released in 2021, concludes with Task Force Vanguard thwarting a Nazi Fourth Reich conspiracy in the Fourth Reich. The diverse team, representing multiple nations, underscores international cooperation in defeating fascism. The revelation of hidden Nazi networks adds contemporary relevance, exploring extremist ideologies' persistence and their threat to global stability. The formation of Task Force Vanguard sets up potential sequels, emphasizing ongoing vigilance against extremism. The ending connects historical events to modern security concerns, reinforcing Call of Duty's ability to draw parallels across eras and highlight the need for global collaboration in combating threats. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, released in 2022, ends with the finale countdown, taking place in Chicago, where Task Force 141 stops a missile detonation. Shepard goes to ground after his role is exposed, and a post-credits No Russian scene teases Makarov's return. Task Force 141 are not fugitives at the end. The updated context reflects contemporary geopolitical challenges, exploring institutional corruption and personal ambition. The narrative sets up Modern Warfare 3, balancing innovation with the trilogy's themes of loyalty and justice, ensuring continuity while introducing new conflicts that resonate with modern audiences. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, released in 2023, concludes with John "Soap" McTavish's death in the final mission Trojan Horse in the London Underground. While attempting to stop a bombing, the team is ambushed by Makarov, who fatally shoots Soap during the defusal effort. Soap dies on sight, and the team later scatters his ashes in Scotland.
We need to cut both at the same time. Red wire.
Red wire, got it. Take this to hell with you, Captain. Never bury your enemies alive.
He was the best of us. Who dares wins. Sleep easy, soldier.
See you downrange, brother. We'll take it from him.
Rest in peace, Johnny.
A post-credits scene shows Captain Price executing General Shepard for his betrayals. Black Ops 6, released in 2024, ends with the defeat of Jane Harrow and Pantheon in Checkmate, and Jackson Kane is shown entering Director Livingstone's office and accessing his computer, hinting at ongoing threats. The helicopter battle emphasizes personal courage amid technological warfare, reflecting cybersecurity concerns in modern conflicts. The ending maintains tension, resolving immediate dangers while setting up future conflicts, aligning with Black Ops' focus on covert operations and institutional vulnerabilities.